Hello everyone, and today I'm going to be teaching you the Russian alphabet. We're gonna learn the Russian alphabet. So first 5 letters are exactly the same in Russian as they are in English, and those letters are A, K, M, O, and T. Akhmot. You can just remember that. All these letters look and sound pretty much exactly the same in Russian as in English. Moving on, there are 6 letters that look like English letters, but they sound completely different. So that's the C, the P, the X, the H, the B, and the Y, which all are different in Russian. Moving on, it's the first letter that we're going to go over is the C, which sounds like the S in C, like the S sound. Looks like the English letter C, but sounds like the English S. Next one is what looks like a P. It's pronounced like an R, as in run. It looks like as the English letter P, but sounds like the English letter R. Next we have the X, which doesn't make the X sound at all. It's pronounced like the H in hello, or the Mexican X in Mexico. It looks the same as the English letter X, but sounds like the English H. Moving on, we have what looks like an H, but is actually an N. So this one, whenever you see an H and it's Russian, it's actually an N sound, as in the word no. Next we have the letter B. This isn't the letter B, it's the letter V in Russian, so it makes the V sound, as in vet. Moving on, we have the last one, which is the Y, which makes the oo sound, as in the word boot. Looks like the English letter Y, but it sounds like the English U. Moving on, letters that sound the same as English letters, but look totally different. So these have different symbols, but they make similar sounds to sounds that already exist in the English alphabet. We've got this one here, this funky looking letter. If I just go back here, first one on the top here, it's a B. It looks a bit like a regular B, except it's got a little line that goes over the top here. Next one is the D. So the capital is the one that I pretty much use all the time. I pretty much never use the lowercase one, but you will see it if you're reading Russian writing occasionally. And it looks sort of like a C, not a C bracket, like one of those square brackets that's been tilted upside down with a line going up and then across and then down. Funky looking letter. Next one looks like the number 3, but it's actually the Z sound, as in zoo. Next we have an upside down inverted L, which is the G sound. It's just it's like a line with a line sticking out to the right. Next we have the P sound, which just looks the same as the Greek pi symbol, the Greek capital pi, or it looks like maybe part 2. You see like a movie part 2, the 2 ones next to each other with a line on the top, except with a line on top. Yeah. Next we have the F letter, which is just a circle with a line through it. Looks a bit like a 0 with a 1 going through it, like a quantum state particle or whatever. Next we have the L sound, which looks like this. I don't know. I'm going to stop explaining what it looks like. This is the L. Next there's the E sound, as in the I sound, as in illusion, the sound. And this one is like a backwards weird looking N, weird looking capital N. Moving on, now we have letters that don't look like or sound like any English letters. So we've got, I believe, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them here. First one is Ya, which is a backwards R. It's a backwards capital R, and it makes the YA sound, Ya, as in yard. The next one is the Y sound, as in the word boy, the Y in the word boy. Yeah. And then next we have what looks like a backwards euro sign. It's sort of like a backwards C with a line in the middle. You can't see it too well here. but that's just the regular E as an edit, the E as an edit. Next we have the U sound, which looks a bit like a little fishy swimming to the right here, and it makes the YU sound. So U, like as in the whole word U. Next we have a regular looking E, but with 2 dots above it, and this sounds like yo, as in YO, as in yonder, yo, yo, yo. Next we have a weird looking one, which makes a sound that doesn't really exist at all in English. It's sort of in between a couple of letters. It sounds like ui, ui, ui. So it's a bit of a weird one. Next we have the sh sound, which sounds a bit like pronouncing SHCH, sh, and then ch, and you say them together and it makes the sh sound. Then we're moving on. There's also 2 more here that aren't really included that are very similar to the sh and the yo. So if you see a regular looking E, it's pronounced yeah, as in Y-E. And if you see one of these little sh looking things but without the little tail, it's just a regular SH sh sound. Moving on, what are diphthongs? Diphthongs are combinations of different letters that form a new sound. We've got 4 examples here. So the first one is the letter ch, which looks like this. It looks a bit like the number 4, and it's like the CH in English, the ch sound, as in chain or chapel. Next we have a weird looking one, which is probably my favorite letter in the Russian alphabet just because of how cool it looks. It's the zh sound. So for example, in the word pleasure, as you say pleasure, the zh sound from pleasure, this is what they've got a letter for that sound. And it's written in English, it's written sort of like ZH. So if you see ZH trying to spell out a Russian word, it usually means the zh sound, as in pleasure. Next we have one that we've already briefly gone over, which is just, it looks like a W, but it's very square, and it just makes the sh sound, as in shut. Moving on, we've got the ts sound, which is like T and then S together. So t, s, put them together, ts. And it looks like this. And moving on. Extra letters that don't make any sound on their own whatsoever. We have the tvrdy znak and the myaky znak. So the tvrdy znak, which just means hard sign, indicates a pause between 2 syllables, and the myaky znak, the soft sign, makes the previous letter sound softer. Next we have letters that don't exist in Russian at all, but do exist in English. So you're not going to find anything like j, qu, w, x, or the y in English. If there is a name like Jenny that would normally be spelt with a J, you'll see the letter D, the Russian letter D, and then the Russian letter zh, which will make the dzh, which is like the closest thing they have to j. And then the qu, there's no real equivalent for that, or for the w. Moving on, what's the difference between hard and soft sounding letters? So here's a table here, we've got here, of the difference between hard and soft letters. So when I say these 2 letters here on the top, the very top here, the first one's hard. So for example, in the word apteka, which means pharmacy, the a is sort of like an a sound, and when it's soft, that's the hard sound. So the a is hard, and this letter here, the backwards R, which makes the ya sound. So ya. So the soft sound, the soft A would be ah, and the hard A would be ah, or a. And then the same for all these letters here. Moving on, some basic things to know about the Russian alphabet. There are 33 letters in the Russian alphabet, 10 vowels, which is 5 more than in English, And there are 21 consonants, which is the exact same amount of consonants as there are in the English alphabet. The Russian alphabet has another much cooler sounding name. It's known as the Cyrillic alphabet. So what do all the Russian letters look like in typed or printed form? Here's a little table here. You can pause the video if you want to learn how to write all these. There's also some handy little letters underneath the Russian letters that sort of tell you. I don't know if you can see it that clear. If you can't see it, just look up Russian alphabet on the internet. I'm sure you'll find an image which will give you sufficient imagery. Moving on, what does the Russian cursive alphabet look like? So this is the Russian cursive alphabet. Looks quite a bit different in some cases than the printed Russian alphabet. For example, the T here. This is a crazy looking letter. It's an M when it's lowercase, and it's like a pi with an extra tail when it's a capital, which is a tiny bit confusing. Most of the other letters are quite similar to the printed form though. Moving on, what does Russian handwriting look like? So I've got a little sample here of some Russian handwriting. This is what you can expect to see. This is very neat Russian handwriting. It could look a lot messier than this, and it might look like a bit of a nightmare at first, but it is indeed possible to decipher the contents of this message. Moving on, how many different languages use the Russian alphabet? So over 50 different languages use alphabets very similar to the Russian alphabet, or very similar to the Cyrillic alphabet, including Kazakh and Belarusian and other languages like Ukrainian. A lot of the other alphabets of the other languages add the odd letter or take away the odd letter. Usually they just add the odd letter. But yeah, so just a fun fact. Moving on. When would I ever need the Russian alphabet? One, if you plan on traveling to or living in a Russian-speaking country, so you can read signs and stuff like that. Two, if you want to write something in secret that people who can't read Russian won't be able to read. And three, to show off that you can read Russian. That would be another good reason. Is it hard to learn to write in Russian? No, you can learn to write the Russian alphabet in only a couple of hours. It might take a little bit longer for you to really memorize all the letters, but you can really pretty much learn how to write the Russian alphabet in only a couple of hours. Cursive might take a bit longer. Hopefully now you know a little bit more about the Russian alphabet. Possibly you might have even learnt how to read and write in Russian from watching this. Hopefully. Anyway, thank you for watching, and have an excellent day or night, depending on when you're watching this. And I'll see you later. Goodbye.